Majin Vegeta dropping into the Naruto world? Pure nightmare fuel. Drop a PayPal tip below, let's dive in.
A violent storm ravages the hidden cloud village, but tonight, the thunder isn't the only thing tearing the sky apart. The fabric of reality itself violently rips open, bleeding dark energy into a world completely unprepared for it. Two completely different universes collide, forcing a tear in the space-time continuum. An alien force drops from the bleeding sky like a localized apocalypse, burning away the rain itself. This is no ordinary meteor. It carries a malice so dense it crushes the very air around it. The earth holds its breath, completely unaware of the absolute monster about to make landfall. Impact. A catastrophic shockwave triggers an artificial earthquake across the land of lightning. Solid bedrock shatters like fragile glass, obliterating centuries-old forests in a single heartbeat. When the dust settles, a colossal crater scars the land, radiating an unnatural, terrifying heat. Deep within the abyss, something stirs. And it brings a kind of malice this universe has never felt. 1 kilometer away, the hidden cloud's elite sensory division catches the first scent of the nightmare. It hits them not like chakra, but like a physical blade slicing straight through their minds. The sheer density of this evil key is suffocating. Their brains literally cannot process the horror. They think a dark-tailed beast has just been unleashed. But the truth is far, far worse. The Umbu Black Ops rush blindly into the danger zone, hoping to capture the intruder. They secure the perimeter, weapons drawn, totally oblivious that they are aiming at a god of destruction. From the ashes of the ruined earth, a lone figure rises without a single scratch. Majin Vegeta brushes off the apocalyptic crash like it was nothing more than a minor inconvenience. The cursed mark of Babidi burns on his forehead, but the rage in his eyes is entirely his own. He quickly scans the primitive landscape, instantly realizing that this weak, pathetic world is not his own.
Where the hell are you, Kakarot? This pathetic world isn't where we settle our score.
The Umbu realize instantly that their weapons are useless. They are pointing sticks at a hurricane. Cheated out of his ultimate battle, the Prince of all Saiyans needs something to destroy. He releases his pure, unfiltered bloodlust. It isn't just energy, it is the physical manifestation of death. Without throwing a single punch, the elite assassins of the hidden cloud are completely crushed. A monster has just claimed this world as his playground. And the nightmare is only beginning. Believing they have the high ground, a swarm of cloud ninjas surrounds the crater in a desperate counterattack. They unleash a lethal barrage of explosive tags, aiming to blow the unknown threat to pieces. A lethal rain of steel and fire descends, carrying enough destructive force to level the entire valley. But the Prince of all Saiyans doesn't even bother to uncross his arms or open his eyes. The blast hits a wall of pure ki, violently ricocheting backward as if bouncing off a mountain of steel. Realizing physical weapons are useless, the elite squad unleashes their village's ultimate specialty. Massive dragons of pure high-voltage chakra roar down the valley, intent on vaporizing the intruder. But their ultimate ninjutsu shatters like a cheap toy against the sheer density of a Super Saiyan's energy. The prince's patience snaps. He has no time to play games with these fragile insects. The dark magic of Babidi fuels his anger, turning his annoyance into pure, unfiltered bloodlust.
Are you done playing with sparklers? Now kneel, you pathetic bugs!
His killer intent manifests physically, unleashing an invisible weight that crushes the very air they breathe. The sheer density of his malice bends the laws of physics. Reality itself begins to break. Gravity inverts. The heavy storm is violently repelled, sent flying back into the weeping sky. Gravity inverts. The heavy storm is violently repelled, sent flying back, i.e. the world drains of color, replaced by an ash-gray void of pure, suffocating despair, to the weeping sky. Without lifting a finger, Vegeta crushes the elite squadron into the dirt like mere insects. Their minds break. Hallucinations of death surround them, making their bodies forget how to breathe. The killer intent is a poison. It paralyzes their nervous systems, leaving them drowning on dry land. A total massacre born purely from a glare. Majin Vegeta stands alone, the undisputed apex predator. The camera glides like a ghost over the broken bodies. The only sound left is the pathetic twitching of shattered nervous systems. It's a complete psychological wipeout. Their bodies literally forgot how to function under the sheer weight of his killer intent. They thought they were the elite. But against a cosmic anomaly, they are nothing more than bugs caught in a hurricane. The tracking shot pushes deeper into the wreckage, approaching the ruined command tent at the edge of the blast radius. In the eye of the storm, you'd expect to find either total destruction or sheer panic. But there is an anomaly. The tactical center is completely annihilated. A total loss of command and control. Or so it seems. Their strategies and borders mean absolutely nothing to a being capable of erasing planets for sport. Yet, in the deepest shadow of the wreckage, someone is still standing, completely unaffected by the horror outside. It's Samui. While her comrades drown in their own terror, she remains anchored like an immovable object. She isn't bracing for impact. She isn't weaving hand signs. She's literally just holding a cup of tea. Look at her eyes. There is no panic. No adrenaline. Just an absolute, chilling void of emotion. Majin Vegeta's aura is physically crushing the terrain, yet her hand remains as stable as carved marble. The surface of the tea is perfectly flat. Not a single ripple. A masterful visual metaphor for her mind. The earth aggressively quakes, timber shatters inches from her face, but she refuses to flinch. The tea remains untouched. She takes a sip. It's not bravery. It's a complete, biological absence of fear. She is a psychological fortress. But her impossible stillness doesn't go unnoticed. The apex predator has spotted the anomaly in his graveyard. Intrigued and slightly insulted by her calmness, the Prince of all Saiyans bends space itself. He crosses the battlefield in less time than it takes a human heart to beat once. Boom! An unstoppable force violently crashes into an immovable object. The air pressure alone should crush her ribs.
Brain dead? Or do you just not comprehend how dead you already are, little girl?
He cranks his bloodlust to the absolute maximum, expecting her to drop to her knees and beg for mercy. The physical pressure is so intense that the air itself begins to crush solid objects. The porcelain screams. The cup fractures. Tea leaks through her fingers, painted crimson by his aura, looking exactly like dripping blood. But her hand? It is rock solid. Not a single millimeter of hesitation. Her nervous system is flawless.
Fear is a useless variable. Anyone who showed it is already dead.
The chilling standoff is suddenly interrupted. From the rubble of the destroyed tent, a pathetic sound breaks the silence. The base commander, stripped of all his rank and pride, drags his trembling body through the dirt like a crushed worm. Through bruised and tear-filled eyes, he looks up at the glowing boots of the ultimate apex predator. Terrified beyond logic, the leader of the outpost violently smashes his head against the ground, begging for a mercy that doesn't exist. He offers state secrets, hidden wealth, absolutely anything to stop the suffocating, crushing weight of imminent death. The Prince of all Saiyans stares down at the pathetic display. His battle-hungry rage is instantly replaced by sheer, sickening disgust. Realizing his life is worth less than dirt to this monster, desperation makes the coward's brain do incredibly ugly things. Searching for a lifeline, the coward's eyes lock onto his own subordinate, who hasn't flinched once. A vile idea forms in his broken mind. He thinks he knows exactly what powerful, violent men truly desire. Without a shred of honor, he points a trembling finger at Samui, offering her up like a cheap piece of meat on a silver platter.
Please, man! Take her! She's a total 10, look at those curves! Do whatever you want to her, just let me walk!
Vegeta's aura flickers. He expected begging, but this level of sheer, unadulterated cowardice from a warrior is a new low entirely. The commander spits out vulgar, degrading comments about her physique, hoping to buy his own miserable life with her dignity. But if the commander expected her to feel betrayed, humiliated, or enraged, he is dead wrong. She doesn't even blink. The crude insults bounce off her mind like pebbles against a titanium vault. Her heart rate doesn't spike a single beat. Instead of drawing her blade to strike down the traitor, Samui simply shifts her weight, moving for the very first time. With absolute grace, she gently sets the fractured, blood-red leaking porcelain cup down onto the shattered ruins of the base. Completely unbothered by the ultimate betrayal, she returns to her relaxed posture, refusing to acknowledge the garbage at her feet. The pathetic joke of a sacrifice falls flat. The Prince of all Saiyans and the immovable object lock eyes once again. She has accepted her fate. She simply waits in perfect silence for the real monster to make his move.
Hold up, is Vegeta gonna vaporize this coward instantly, or take the girl? Drop your theories in the comments, you got 3 seconds.
The Saiyan Prince looks at the commander not as a warrior, but as a disgusting stain on the battlefield. The coward waits, foolishly believing that a god of destruction shares the same filthy desires as a mortal man. Vegeta completely ignores the trash at his feet. His predatory gaze locks onto the only anomaly left standing. He looks at Samui. He doesn't see a victim. He sees a puzzle that refuses to break under his gravity. The Prince of all Saiyans scans her from head to toe, with the ruthless, cold calculation of a veteran warlord. He analyzes her weapon placement. Flawless. Positioned for an immediate, lethal strike, yet her hands remain completely relaxed. Her muscle tension is zero. She is conserving energy perfectly. It is the absolute pinnacle of combat discipline. He evaluates her center of gravity. Everything about her build screams ultimate efficiency. Until his eyes hit one massive flaw. His tactical mind hits a brick wall. A blatant, glaring physical inefficiency that ruins her perfect combat geometry. The audience expects a perverted reaction. But Vegeta is a Saiyan. He only cares about peak physical performance. His immense killer intent abruptly shifts into pure, unfiltered tactical rage. He cannot stand a flawed weapon.
What are those useless lumps of fat? They ruin your center of gravity and slow your sword swing by 0.2 seconds!
The commander's brain completely crashes. The god of destruction isn't acting like a conqueror, he's acting like an angry combat coach. Any normal woman would be outraged. Any normal ninja would attack. But Samui is a creature of pure logic. She briefly analyzes her own anatomy, treating his bizarre insult as a perfectly valid tactical critique.
They create drag, true, but I manipulate lightning release to offset the aerodynamic loss. However, I appreciate the tactical feedback.
The ruthless Majin Vegeta is completely stunned. He came here to break wills, not debate aerodynamics. The oppressive killer intent vanishes instantly. The absolute absurdity of the conversation simply breaks the tension. The commander's brain gives up. He completely passes out, unable to comprehend this bizarre, nerdy exchange. Samui adjusts her collar, entirely unbothered. She has successfully countered a cosmic threat using pure, emotionless logic. He lowers his hand. The absolute lack of fear, replaced by tactical nerdiness, is something he has never encountered. And for the first time since arriving in this wretched world, the Prince of all Saiyans is genuinely amused. The bloodlust is gone, replaced by the arrogant appraisal of a king who just found a brand new, flawless weapon. She doesn't celebrate. She simply waits. Her mind is a fortress of ice that even the fires of a Majin cannot melt. An unstoppable force of rage. An immovable object of pure logic. The most terrifying duo in the ninja world has just been born. The bizarre, comical moment evaporates in a split second. The atmosphere instantly snapping back into something far more dangerous than before. Having analyzed his reaction, Samui realizes something crucial. The god of destruction standing before her is fundamentally broken. Vegeta leans in, ready to crush her mind with his malice. He expects her to finally break under the renewed pressure. But her gaze cuts straight through the fiery shell of the Majin. She isn't looking at a monster, she is looking at a patient. With the cold, calculated precision of an assassin, she chooses her words not to defend herself, but to completely disarm him.
Your bloodlust is screaming way too loud. You're hiding some deep inner torment underneath it all. That is a massive weakness.
The words hit him harder than any physical blow ever could. The suffocating gravity in the room shatters instantly like cheap glass. The monster is stripped naked. Her cold logic bypasses his defenses entirely, plunging a dagger straight into the heart of his manufactured evil. He sold his soul to Babidi to erase his humanity. But this mere mortal just looked into his eyes and called his bluff. His energy spirals out of control. The lie he told himself to become Majin is violently collapsing under her absolute scrutiny. He tries to summon his rage, but the dam breaks. The memories he desperately buried violently claw their way to the surface. In a fraction of a second, the face of his wife flashes before his eyes. The woman he loves, the woman he abandoned. Followed instantly by his son. The family that anchors his humanity, tearing apart the dark magic corrupting his mind. He snaps back to reality, suffocating on his own guilt. The Prince of all Saiyans is having a full-blown panic attack. The seal of Babidi violently recoils. The dark magic fights a losing battle against a heart that refuses to be completely hollowed out. He clutches his skull, desperate to shove the agonizing truth back into the dark corners of his mind. He cannot let her see this. And then, the impossible happens. Driven by pure subconscious trauma, the absolute apex predator physically retreats. He takes a half step back. It's just a few inches, but in the realm of psychological warfare, it's a total surrender. Samui doesn't flinch. She doesn't gloat. She simply watches the monster break himself against her absolute wall of ice. A ninja with zero chakra active has just done what the greatest warriors in the universe could not. She made the prince step back. Look at him. For the first time since arriving in this world, Majin Vegeta looks completely and utterly cornered. With sheer, stubborn willpower, he violently shoves his humanity back into the darkness. But the damage is permanently done. The power dynamics have irreversibly shifted. She isn't a victim anymore. She is the only person alive who holds the leash to the monster. The immovable object didn't just survive the unstoppable force. She completely rewired its trajectory. The prince smiles. Not with madness, but with a terrifying, profound respect. He has finally found a weapon worthy of his command. The psychological crack seals up as fast as it appeared. The prince forcibly buries the trauma, his royal arrogance completely taking the wheel again. He stares down at the unconscious commander. To a Saiyan elite, killing something this pathetic isn't a victory, it's a straight-up insult. The coward standard-issue katana lies abandoned in the dirt, practically begging to be used for its actual intended purpose. Vegeta totally refuses to dirty his own hands with garbage. But he has the absolute perfect tool standing right in front of him. With a casual flick of his foot, he launches the discarded steel straight through the heavy atmosphere. The blade cuts right through the tense air, carrying the heavy weight of a twisted, improvised initiation ritual. Samui catches the hilt flawlessly. She doesn't flinch, doesn't hesitate, just absorbs the momentum like an absolute pro. She grips the weapon, feeling the cold steel. The atmosphere grows deadly quiet, waiting for the prince's final verdict.
Prove that blade of yours is as cold as your dead eyes. Take out the trash!
For a normal ninja, executing their commanding officer is pure treason. For Samui, it's just simple, practical math. She steps forward. Her loyalty to the hidden cloud was severed the exact moment her superior offered her up like meat. The commander remains completely out cold, blissfully unaware that his cowardly karma has finally caught up to him. Blue lightning chakra aggressively sparks to life, wrapping around the steel blade with a deadly, high-voltage hum. In one fluid, blindingly fast motion, she brings the electrified blade down. The execution is flawless and absolute. No hesitation, no dramatic pauses. Just a clean, supersonic cut that severs her past and seals her brand new future. She casually flicks the blade, clearing the stain with a sharp snap of her wrist. Still absolutely zero emotion. Her heart rate doesn't spike. Her breathing remains steady as a ticking clock. It's almost terrifying how chill she is. Vegeta watches the brutal display with a highly approving smirk. The blood test is officially over, and she just passed with lethal perfection. The dead weight is gone. Samui calmly drops to one knee, officially severing her ties with the hidden cloud by offering up the tactical map of the Shinobi nations. The borders and secrets of the ninja world mean absolutely nothing now. She waits in perfect silence for her new master's absolute command. Vegeta couldn't care less about conquering these pathetic dirt villages. He wants the absolute strongest signatures on the planet. Nothing else matters. He demands to find those who manipulate space and time. He doesn't want to rule this dimension, he wants to violently rip a hole straight through it. He needs their visual jutsu to forge a portal back to Kakarot. Anyone who stands in the way of his ultimate rematch will be instantly vaporized. But until he gets his ticket home, the prince refuses to clear out the trash himself. He declares he will forge her into the ultimate Saiyan weapon. Samui accepts the dark pact without a single blink. Her flawless logic dictates that serving a god of destruction is the ultimate survival strategy. The Prince of all Saiyans steps closer, slowly erasing the distance between an unstoppable cosmic force and an immovable mortal object. The tension hits an absolute peak. The air grows impossibly thick as the glowing Majin towers over his brand new, perfectly cold executioner. Slowly, deliberately, his white combat glove reaches out, cutting through the heavy, rain-soaked atmosphere of the ruined tent. He forcefully tilts her face up. He wants to dig into her soul. He desperately wants to find just a single, pathetic sliver of terror. He stares directly into her mind, cranking his dark magic to the absolute maximum to try and crush her sanity one last time. But he finds absolutely nothing. Just a beautiful, chilling void of pure apathy. She is the ultimate psychological fortress.
Perfect! Get to work, my toy!
With a wickedly satisfied smirk, he releases her. The environment instantly explodes with golden and red energy as he powers up. The ground completely vaporizes under his boots as the Prince of all Saiyans launches himself straight into the raging storm. Samui draws her sword and vanishes in a flash of lightning, following the apex predator into the sky. The hunt has officially begun.
Bro, the absolute disrespect. But seriously, can Obito or Pain even survive this monster duo? Drop a sub, smash that like, and let me know down below.